find some things that you can do. And I tell you now, to be honest, I have never Googled anything. You know, I've never done that. I've never Googled an exercise. I've never repeated exercises like the way I know. You know, sometimes I surprise players. And it's because of what we have as South Africans, the natural intelligence to work with the ball, because it is there for us. So Dash was mentioning food, and he says, you know, food. Out of my own, you know, I said, none of my players are going to eat pap at camp. When we camp at night, players eat pap. I hate pasta because I don't know what pasta is made of. I don't even want to know. But I know my food here. You eat cabbage at my club, you eat spinach, you eat bambune. You can't come to me and tell me about muesli and all of these things. You eat juggernaut in the morning that we grew up with. We know, you eat porridge, the normal soft porridge, And these are the things that all of us here have as South Africans. I'm happy, Zipo, that let me not say you, we use the pot. and don't be shy because it's black. Pot will always be black, whether you like it or not. Because this color is very beautiful and it's very creative. You put a new pot, clean one, in the fire, the bottom will be black. And you must clean it, but it will go back to being black again. And that's how stubborn black is. But I'm happy 30 years down the line, we have realized that we should be stubborn and really emphasize our football. And this, somebody, somewhere, in the future, will thank this association very much to say you have relieved our country. You have helped the national team. We will be better people if we play football. But if we are really dying now, at this moment, we are dying for goals. Those goals will not come if we don't create them. Those goals will not happen if we don't play good football. The stadiums will remain empty if we do not entertain people. And we are entertainers. People will come back so long as we entertain them. And thank you very much, gentlemen. And thank you, to everybody who contributed. Sylvester. People think that refereeing is something, but sometimes referees educate you so much that you become this clean player. I think in my life I have one red card, and it was for chipping. I don't have it for rough tackling. I know that I have less than 10 yellow cards in my whole career because I was taught to play clean, taught to play smart. So it's all everybody contributing. A school of excellence, my time at Sundowns Academy, and all of that. It's all paying back. And all of that. I don't. People say, yeah, but why are you not recognized and stuff like that? I don't crave for that. So long as I can see in every club that I touch, one or two players grow, they've made my day. People that were not recognized are recognized. In all the clubs that I have coached, players have grown, and that's what makes me grateful. I can fire me, it's all right, but when I'm gone, you struggle. That's when you realize that. Thank you so much.
You got that thing, man. Guys, I think I'm hijacking this right now.
No problem.
And the reason for me doing this is that I need to inform you about what Sudesh said 30 years ago. And may his soul rest in peace, Ted Dimitri.
Yes.
But I'm here to criticize him and tell you South Africans that the man who started this whole thing is standing right in front of you, and we don't appreciate him. We don't appreciate him. And this goes out to a lot of people out there. And that is this man standing next to me here, Simon Bata. I say this in all respect because we're about the same age. And we met at Orlando. Myself, Sam, one guy standing at the back, it was Paradise. Sam, please, shake your head if I'm not saying the right thing. But we came from Boston, Chelsea, and Sam and Paradise were busy at Orlando Stadium already, coaching young players. And Ted found that out and said, let us open up a Chibugu Center. So the man who really started this all is still alive, and we don't appreciate him. And he's an African, and that's what I'm proud of. Wherever I go in the world, and I've been many places, and we've been together, and we said, Sam, we're in Brazil today, we're in Holland tomorrow, we're in Peru following week. What are we doing here? You know what we went there to do? Sam will tell you. We went to steal. What did we steal? We stole with our eyes. That's what our mothers taught us. Don't steal with your hands, steal with your eyes, because no one can take it away from you. So I steal every day of my life. Every day of my life I steal football. I steal with my eyes. I steal. And no one can take it away from me. So I'm winning there as far as stealing is concerned. But in saying that, because I moved a little bit further, and I coached in the PSL, and always like Dan says, we stick to our rules. We are of the same nation. I don't know what we call ourselves. People that come from the School of Excellence. No. We have the same blood that runs through us. If I see Sam coaching tomorrow and I see Dan coaching tomorrow, if I see Sudesh and Zippo, it will all be the same. We are Africans. And we believe in that. Right, but because I've been maybe a little bit further as far as coaching foreigners are concerned, as far as coming from Africa, my message to South Africa is that we have to understand the diversity that we have in this country. That we have not understood. And yes, we have to talk about apartheid, always. And that diversity is what they created. And that diversity is what is keeping us back after 30 years. If I talk about it, when I was in Tanzania, all those people are from Tanzania. And they all speak one language. They have a different dialect. When I was in Sudan, they're all from Sudan. We know them as the Egyptian brothers. They all speak Arabic. And that's in Egypt, they all spoke Arabic. 120 million people. 70 of them are poor. They're poor, really poor. But the problem is, there's no hunger. That is a problem for us. In our country, because of apartheid, what they done, and Sam will know it because he lives in the area that was diverted from Western to Rockville. The whites, they took my brothers and sisters, the ones that were blacker or darker, and put them in Rockville, and they left the others in Western. And they changed their surname from Olifant to Ndlovu. They changed the surnames. What did they do? They created the diversity. And for us to overcome that diversity is one big hurdle to cross. So I'm saying is, as we are here, we know we can develop the player because we did it at the School of Excellence. Out of 42 people, or 42 youngsters, 38 of them played professional football.
Wow.
38 of them played professional football. And I think 10 of them played at the top level. You talk about Stephen Pina, Dylan Shepherd, Gabriel Mafukeng, Jeffrey Mtuka, Masilo, Boy Musia, Bernard Parker. Those are players who played top level. You talk about European level, Sudesh. Those are the players that represented the School of Excellence. And there's no more. There's no more. So we know we can do it. How we do it, guys, I am not here to buy face with anybody. The man is alive. He's standing in front of you, and nobody gives him the credit. I give him the credit. Because I've gone a different way and I've coached differently and I've understood. But I give him the credit. Well done, Sam.
I do.
And we need to use him. He has the brains, and I'm sorry to say this in front of you, because of his head. He's got everything in him. You've got to use it. But he's here. And I feel ashamed because wherever I go, no one talks about Sam Mbata, which is a shame for you as South Africans. But like I say, it's the diversity that we have. Why must we promote one of our own when we can get someone who can speak a different language and F us around like he wants to? I think my skin, I'm almost white, so then maybe I can get the job. But I'm African, guys, and I think we got a long way to go, and well done to Sudesh, Craig's, you, my friend, Mr. Z, for carrying the flag, and I hope we're able to be part of it going forward, and allow the next generation of young football coaches to take the baton and take it properly. Thank you, guys.
It's my opportunity.
You talk long, huh?
No. Good day to everyone that is gathered here. I think first and foremost is to thank this opportunity, for getting this invite. As the program director said, it's an historic, occasion. And to say the guys who've been working behind the scene for all these past 8 years when we had to move in different directions, to say well done guys, for keeping this alive. And what I want to say as well, it's not about myself, but also to say to everyone that is here, I'm happy the media is here. It's not about not being recognized. There are a lot of people that are not being recognized. I'm not the first one. But we're brought on this earth to serve. One is happy about serving. Why I'm saying this is because many people know me because I work with Ted very closely. Ted is my mentor, and he mentored a lot of us. May his soul rest in peace. But people don't know that Sylvester Ndaba here, he was actually my first mentor. Sylvester Ndaba were running the soccer academy, where we attended coaching courses, but it will always be refereeing, coaching, and administration. And after a few weeks, then we'll specialize. So, Mr. Sylvester Ndaba here, the late Raina Mofokeng, may his soul rest in peace, the late Pro Pilani, they were on the forefront of that. Those guys are the ones who actually started to mentor me, and through the interaction and also the belief they had in me, I had to find Ted where he was. I remember when we graduated from the soccer academy, I phoned NPSL then to say, hey man, do you have any courses You know, I've just finished a course and I'm still young, I want to learn more. And they gave me the number of Ted Dimitru. That's how I met Ted Dimitru. 1988. We were together with Sylvester. The man behind us being able, together with Ted, to convince the chairman of SA Breweries then, Mr. Ron Schuder, who not only saw the vision of Ted and obviously Mr. Dava about helping to develop, you know, the game in South Africa, especially focusing on youth development. He was instrumental in us securing Orlando Stadium in terms of getting the funds from SA Breweries, you know, who were also responsible for the Chibuku program. So I want to say, Mr. Sylvester, thank you very much. And one thing also that I want to share with you is that all the people that we started this with, we started as colleagues, but we are friends. We are still together. And I'm happy to see God here. They supported us all the way behind the scenes. You know, whatever we're doing, whether it's Chibuku, School of Excellence, you know, Kurt, Zunaid Mall, and Coach Farouk, they were all behind us. And the boys that we started with at the School of Excellence, in fact, from Chibuku in Orlando, 1991, we are still together. Last year, the School of Excellence was celebrating 27 years. They invited me. The theme of their gathering was, you know, social cohesion. It was amazing. All the boys, some have got married, and some, they say, Coach, you know, my wife, I met my wife when I was at the School of Excellence. And I said to myself, I even phoned Coach Kevin. I said, Coach Kevin, I didn't believe what I saw. It means this had to happen in South Africa. It's God's divine intervention in what was happening. Because I don't think even the best academies in the world, after 27 years, they can have 5 boys gathering to say we once were together. On that day, there were almost about 30 of those boys. With the exception from the boys from Cape Town and KZN, you'll understand, because of the distance. But all the boys from Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Free State were all there. And it was a very, very good occasion, which I shared. But also very important, maybe as a parting shot, is to say, one of the reasons that we are still together, Nabuzipu, Nabusudeshi, everyone, Coach Dance, we speak, Coach Kevin, almost every day or so. We knew the identity of our football, and we knew the characteristics of our players and what needs to be done. You know, the other day I was talking to Dan, I said, Dan, are you aware, all the years we spent at the School of Excellence, we have never fought because we are differing in what we want to do. We are all one. And thanks to the people that started the foundation, like Mr. Sylvester, but more importantly, or special, Ted Dimitru. It made us to understand one way of how this game should be developed in the country and what needs to be done to our youth. And truly, because what Zippo has said, we were able to experiment and we saw the success. And we said, whatever has been tested and tried and validated, when our boys started to go, surely this is something that everyone should follow. That is why I'm very proud of Zippo. As a student of the game, he took it upon himself to put together something that will help the country as a whole, but also help the world, because it's always painful, you know, for our boys and everybody, our people who love football, to always appreciate watching Barcelona and not what. You know, when Barcelona started to show themselves that they can play football, you guys won't believe how many phone calls I used to get when they were playing from our boys. Coach, where people are excited, but we used to do this thing in the school, you know. And thanks to the likes of them, you know, moving up to professional, even Coach Kevin, if we have watched Platinum Stars, we have watched Super Sport, they maintained, you know, the philosophy of how this game should be played. And the players that they are bringing to their teams, they don't compromise, you know. So this thing of South Africa being a sleeping giant, I think you guys, you should be able to tell a story that this is not something that should live with us forever. We went to a number of international tournaments, Coach Kevin, Coach Dance. After each and every match, it's even difficult to do a warm down or to go to the bus or to go to a dressing room to change. People will mob us and they will want to know, how are you training these boys? You sit on the stand watching other games. Some of the parents who are watching will come and say, but you guys, why can't you teach the others to play like you? So that is what South Africa has, guys. We were privileged to have traveled the world, especially on football. What we have seen there, our players, youth players in particular, with the natural ability and the footwork, are the best in the world. People talk about Brazil, we've been there, we've seen. We have met a number of South American teams wherever we went in tournaments. But the only problem is what happens once they turn 19, 20, they join professional teams. And I think with what Zippo and Safca are coming up with will help us a lot, because there has not been continuity, especially at professional level. Everything is lost in the youth. And unfortunately, we get to be judged about what has been happening at the youth. But believe me, I cannot stand in front of you and tell you what I don't know. We have seen these things. So I believe together, you know, with the media, with youth football practitioners, you know, and we also need to support people like Coach Kevin and Coach Dance, who are now at the professional level, who are still believing that there is our way of playing football. And I think if we can do that, then we can change the mindset of a lot of people, because now we all think that for us to move forward, we have to look at Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola. You know, for your information, Coach Dan spoke about, it doesn't Google, but you guys, I'm sure you're Googling. There's an article which was written, an interview with one of our boys who were at the School of Excellence. He went to Belgium, Masilo Mudube. When he had an opportunity when he could see that his days are numbered, he started coaching young boys. And the media started to call him the Black Pep Guardiola, simply because of the type of football his youngsters were playing. And up until today, those boys, some have ventured into coaching, they still don't compromise, in terms of their understanding of the game from when they were taught when they were young. So once again, because of the belief of people like Sylvester Ndaba and Ted Dimitri came in, they provided the resources and everything is there for everyone to prove. So all that I'm saying is, let's spread the message about the courses. Let our people avail themselves and attend these courses. I'm 100% sure that there will be a change in our football. We'll begin to see success, at national level. Because if all of you were involved in football even 10 years back, you will know how many players the School of Excellence used to supply the national teams and how well the national teams were doing. The success of us winning the under-20 AFCON with Shakes Mashaba, the bulk of those players were coming from our programs. Qualifying for 1996 Olympics, where we went and played and beat Brazil, this program, Zippo is supposed to have put it there, because we were involved with Coach Thabo Dladla, the late Patrick S. Nzoleni, and Ted Dimitri as the technical director. So there has been a lot of success, which unfortunately some of the media personnel don't know about it, which means it's a story that I need to tell in future. That's why I said I don't want to talk about myself now, but to say, Babu Sylvester Ndaba, let South Africans know the work that we've done. I don't want to talk about your officiating or what, but you were a trendsetter in as far as developing this game, and people must know about that. And to the rest of my colleagues, you are my friends, you know, we talk a lot. And I thank you, Coach Evan, heartily for all those kind words. I was what I was, I am what I am because of you guys. I could not have had the wisdom to be able to share what I share if you guys were not next to me, because we're seeing things the same way. That is why even now, you know, when I hear on the radio that there's going to be Dan Malise, I leave everything. There's going to be Zippo. I even follow Zippo to Ukosi, because for me that is part of continuous education. And I encourage him, I said, go Zippo, continue. People are hungry for this knowledge. Now I'm happy that he has brought it into a course, and I know people will benefit a lot. Having said that, once again, thank you very much.
Time constraints.
Yeah, thank you very much. God bless.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Thanks to our legends for gracing the occasion. I think we just wanted to...
CAT SITA is one of the 21 SITAs that is responsible for skills development. But there's also knowledge that needs to be enhanced. And I can use develop. And I'm happy to say I've gained knowledge by being here today. Thank you very much for the invite, or maybe I should thank inavailability of Ms. Dimple Pungwayo, who was very critical in terms of getting the accreditation for Safca. It's been a long process, but I'm glad that we managed to find each other in terms of accreditation. The professional body is more responsible for the practical component of the qualifications that we accredit, and we look at the knowledge. So the accreditation that has been awarded, it will go a long way, not only in terms of developing the skill in terms of those that will benefit from the training, but in terms of ensuring that those coaches, because there's quite a lot of them, they have a qualification that would take them, even if coaching does not really work for them, but they have a qualification that would allow them to do other things in life. If you have education, things becomes much easier. And for me and Cat Sita, I think we are happy, for lack of another word, that you eventually got the accreditation, so that when a person says he has a coaching qualification, that will be accompanied with your coaching in terms of your levels. Our qualification is guided by the Qualifications Act. So if a person gets that qualification, it's his or hers, and he can use it because South African Qualifications Authority is aligned and known, and the framework is based on global accreditation. You can still use it beyond the shores of South Africa. So for me, it is a step in the right direction. You've been accredited for a skills program. You need to move to a qualification, and we need to see how we partner in terms of ensuring that the people that you coach, comes out with a qualification at a relevant NQF level. We will work together because we still need to monitor and certificate. It's one thing to have your program accredited, but you still have to implement in line with the guidelines. And that will allow us to monitor, evaluate, and at the end, certificate. We're hoping to, or we're looking forward to certificating a number of young coaches and old. Also, we'll explore other issues in terms of recognition of prior learning, because you've got coaches who've done this for years and they're really not eager to go into a classroom. And we need to come up with ways and RPL them and give them that qualification that they need in order to access other avenues, be it professional coaching, be it business. In closing, I think in terms of football development, I think this initiative needs to look into the education. We're seeing it, coaching within the schools, and I think the next partnership should be with the Department of Education in terms of coaching their learners. It's happening within the privileged schools, wherein there are coaches and young coaches, not the teachers, who have trained, either at university or who have played as well. But we need to, I think, grow that and have that partnership with the Department of Education to ensure that there is that development that is required at an early age and at a consistent level within the schooling years. But yes, we're happy, we're looking forward to a partnership with Safca. And yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Mtaras. It's a privilege to have you here, and I think your words were very deep and profound, and it ties in with the vision of Safca and also developing coaches. I think one of the important things you mentioned was RPL. Many people don't realize that because, yes, we're looking at developing new coaches, but what about the people who've been in the system for years, 30, 40 years, who might not have the privilege of have went to formal academic institutions? So how do we accredit them? You know? So I think that's also important, and that's what brings us to our legends. And there's many other mature coaches who have tons of wisdom around the country. We need to look at a way how we bring them on board. That's why I said I can't wait for the day when we're going to say Professor Sam Mbata, Professor Kevin Johnson, Professor Greg Mashilo, but based on those merits. Thank you so much. Before we just close, I would like to leave it up to the media if there's any questions that you want any particular clarity on from any of the panel or myself, if there's anything that needed to be further explained or any other contribution for the media, just for a few minutes before we close off this press conference.
We prefer one-on-ones.
Oh, you prefer? Okay, I think, yeah, that's a better idea. We can do one-on-ones immediately after closing. I'd just like to thank everyone who has come here, especially the media, because as I mentioned previously, the media is a critical partner in educating, informing the public out there. The media, thanks once again to our founding members and legends. Thanks there. Sorry, I see a hand there. Yes, Colin.
So just before you close, I just wanted to ask our senior as to when we plan to start with the program, the 18-day program. Do we have dates set so that we can all start planning to attend, please?
Do you want to answer or do you want me to answer?
The curriculum developer does not create the school. So these principals are going to talk about the school.
Yeah, I think, Rolani, what we will do soon, because it's also the 30th anniversary, so there's going to be a series of events. But to put on something like that, it's, as we mentioned, it's either 18 days at one stretch or 2 phases of 9 days. So it takes resources. So we're currently in talks with, amongst others, the Cat Sitter corporate world to fund this because it takes a lot of resources. You need people, you need accommodation, you need resources to do that. And knowing the situation of coaches on the ground, we can't expect them to come and pay 5,000, 10,000 or something to. So we're looking how we're going to subsidize it, how we're going to get partners on board. One of the partners, as Mrs. Ntjagasi said, we're also engaging the Ministry of Education. We've been in talks with them for about a year or 2 years. There's a pilot program we want to launch with TVT colleges. They already have a sports management diploma in place. So we want to look, how do we bring the football element into there so that it subsidizes what we're trying to do, because resources are a big problem in football. Unfortunately, some other sports get it, others don't. So we will be, there's a new website that's going to be launched. You've seen the new logo being launched. So in the next few weeks, there's a lot of things that's going to be launched. But that is a key element that you mentioned. We're also in talks. We've been approached by 2 other African football associations, one in Southern Africa, one in West Africa, to actually do a pilot on this youth course. outside South Africa, but we want to do at least 1 year first before we take it outside.